University of Ottawa with Dr. Adel. He's my best colleague and he's my roommate, and I did the Royal College exam with him. This was exactly 20 years ago, subhanAllah, or 19 years ago. This is my city, subhanAllah, and I miss the brothers here. I'm so happy and proud to be among you here. Jazakumullah khairan. My name is Anas Al-Qasim. I'm a surgeon, trauma surgeon, bariatric surgeon. I have been in war zone a lot. We initiated our organization, the Union for Medical Care and Relief Organization. OSAM is a French abbreviation because we started in France. It's still the headquarters in Paris, so that's why people ask me, what's UOSM? In French, it means the Union of Medical Care and Relief. And alhamdulillah, we have offices across the board. I tell the people, we're like MSF with Islamic flavor. If you know MSF, Doctors Without Border. So this is our goal. And alhamdulillah, we worked a lot in Syria because it was the main disaster in the last 10 years. And alhamdulillah, we deployed a lot of efforts in Yemen, in Libya, in Morocco when the earthquake happened, and Turkey as well, and then now in Gaza. We're all doctors. We don't get any money. Some people that ask me, we do all the work, alhamdulillah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us a lot of bounties and gifts, so don't get any money for compensation for the work we do. And alhamdulillah, we contribute as well to the donations. We have hospitals that we operate. We have clinics, primary health clinics, and mental health clinic. And we focus mainly on conflict zones and war zone. Gaza, subhanallah, it has been in our heart for a long period of time, as everyone knows. They are under siege, and they have been under siege for years to go. And I've said this in the media. I think Gaza is a little bit different than Syria, in my own humble opinion. In two aspects, I said this in the media on the CBC and CTV. Number one, this has been under occupation, under siege. So everything is being squished. There's the infrastructure is being attacked, education being attacked. People that can't travel, they can't get a passport. You know, it's occupation, right? And on top of that, now war comes, right? So the war now comes, but it's different than any other war. Even that what I witnessed in Aleppo and Idlib, although the Syrian regime, don't get me wrong, is brutal, is aggressive. They killed medical people, they attacked hospitals, but the amount of weapons of mass destruction, because they are US-made, used within a very short period of time, I don't think any piece of land on earth has witnessed what Gaza people have witnessed. And I witnessed this, I had the honor actually to witness that firsthand. When you go to Gaza, we see it every day. You know, once you pass over there, these are the pictures that you see over there. Almost there's no single building still standing up, right? More than 2 million people, as you know, they are refugees, and they are forced to get out of their houses. And they tell them, go from north to Deir al-Balah, to the middle province. I met patients, and then they went from there to Khan Yunis. They told them it's safe there. They throw these leaflets, right? They drop it. And we were there, they drop it even on Khan Yunis, and they say, you go to this. And the people will believe to go to this. But subhanAllah, and the next day they say, no, you go to this. And then even in Rafah, which is at the border, very south, they drop airstrikes and bombard even the area. So it's not livable Gaza anymore. It's really the biggest crisis for the Muslim Ummah in the last probably 50 years, in my own opinion, right? Because the whole Gaza is not livable now, really. And I think this is all intentional. I'll come to this in a second, but the way, this systematic way of wiping out the healthcare system, the two major universities, I went there, you can't see anything left behind. The schools, completely gone. So the educational system, the healthcare system is completely gone. So this is obviously systematic. This is not against Hamas or this is all, lies, but it is systematic to wipe out the Gaza and to force the people to get out of Gaza. Subhanallah, I became very attached to what's going in Gaza because I'm a doctor, I'm a surgeon, and I've been in war zone many times. When this is 17th of October, when they hit, as you remember, the Baptist hospital, Ma'madani hospital, right? They killed 500 people. And unfortunately, Biden, he was in Israel and immediately, right, without investigations, nobody knew what happened. And he looked at Netanyahu and he said to him, oh, the other party did it. I'm not sure if you remember this. And I knew when I looked at this in the news in Al Jazeera, when Biden is looking at Netanyahu within minutes and saying the other party did it, without investigations, without nothing, that they gave them a green light. And then immediately I put my name with many organizations to go there, but I knew this is a test. If the people like Canadian government and US and UK, they're not gonna condemn it, then they will do it again and again. And they did it in Al-Shifa, and they did it in Kamal Adwan, and they did it many times after that. And then in Nasser Hospital, after we left, we served in Nasser Hospital. So it's gonna happen more and more because it's okay now to hit the hospital with all the lies that, they are hiding weapons. I never, of course, saw anything and no weapons, nothing in any one of the hospitals, but this is the way to justify hitting the healthcare system, wiping the healthcare system out and the educational system in Gaza. So alhamdulillah, we put our names, but subhanallah, if there is a will, subhanallah, as they say, there's a way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it easy for you. I put my name in many organizations, PCRF, PAMA, this and that, because we did not have a presence at our organization until that point in Gaza. We were supplying them. I sent, alhamdulillah, medical supplies from before the war to Shifa Hospital, like surgical tower, C-arm, through Israel, and it takes like 1 year to send any equipment from this is before the war. Like to send the surgical equipment, it took me 1 year in 2022 to send some surgical equipment from Israel to Gaza, which is like 50 kilometers only. So, but we did not have an office inside, so I had to wait. So I put my name in many organizations. And then this is beside me here, Dr. Amjad Al-Sharif, mashallah, thoracic surgeon from Trillium. He told me, Anas, there's for sure we're gonna go this Saturday. I said, they keep telling me for sure, how are you sure? He said, no, take the time off, block it. And if you wanna go with us, I know you wanna go, we're gonna go this time. And WHO is allowing for the first medical mission to go. So subhanallah, I said, okay, this is my passport. They're gonna, of course, pass it to Israel. They screened me, everything. They said, okay, it's fine now. And the day before, I discovered that they need a visa for the Canadians. There's some issue between the CC and our foreign minister and this and that. I wasn't aware of that. And all of a sudden they said, no, now Canadians, you need a visa. I said, what? And all these people, they have either Egyptians or US citizens. I'm the only one Canadian with no Egyptian citizenship. But subhanallah, I'm not gonna go. Wallahi, it was so sad. I said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I should have done a very bad sin. Everyone's going and I'm not going. I was very sad. I told my wife, I'm not gonna go because I contacted the embassy and they said a couple of weeks gonna take. But alhamdulillah, I used connections. The guy beside the second one to me on the right side, you need some connections sometimes for good reason, inshallah. So he did his connections. He contacted the Ottawa embassy and from Houston, and they said, okay, we're gonna give it to you tomorrow. The travel was Saturday. We had to go because we're gonna pass Rafah Sunday. Friday, wallahi, I got the visa. So I said, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, it's working now. So we went and we met in Cairo. I went to Cairo first time after my wedding, and this is the second time. So I always have a good memory in Cairo because was an honor to go from Cairo to Gaza. And so we met the 6 surgeons in Cairo, and we went to Rafah. We were the first medical mission, right, going to Gaza. So a lot of things unknown, but we were taken with good, inshallah, ambition. And we stopped. This is because we are boycotting Starbucks. We don't drink Starbucks anymore, although I used to love it, but no. If they're going to use it to kill the Gaza people, I stopped it. I'm moving even from my bank as well. We became way more aware now. We were very simple in the past. We didn't know who's the Zionist and who's doing what. But now I think we have to educate the new generation, and we have to stand up for our brothers and sisters and not being utilized by these big, Zionist machines, which are, involved 100% in the weapons in Elbit and other weapon machinery in Israel. So this is the new Starbucks. So we stopped in Sinai, and they opened the trunk and they just cooked some coffee, and this is how we were drinking coffee in the way to Al Arish. And it took us from Cairo to Al Arish, subhanallah. It is 400 kilometers for Egyptian people. They know that it's a 400 kilometers. So you think like 4 hours. I just came from Hamilton. Now it's a 490 kilometers. It took me like 5 hours. That's it, right? It took us 14 hours. 14 hours, subhanallah. And why? Because 14 checkpoints. And I made some jokes with the mukhabarat, with the Egyptian, security people. I told them, is this like we're going from a country to a country? Every time you stop me, ask me the same question. Are you Canadian? Are you Syrian? What's your person? Where are you born? I said, why 14 times ask me these questions? And he started laughing. He said, this is Arab country. You have to be used to it because every checkpoint belongs to a different department and this and that, subhanallah. So this is the reality of the Arab countries surrounding Palestine, just to understand the picture, why we are in deep, trouble, right? Because this is how our countries are. So we made it finally, subhanallah, to Rafah, but we left after Fajr 6 in the morning. It is now 8 p.m. So 14 hours it took us, and they said to us, the guys, the Egyptian people, no, you cannot enter. I said, what? Been like two days now traveling from Canada and USA. They said, no, they just bombarded the other side of Rafah. You're not going to get in. We don't know if you're going to get in at all. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. So they sent us back to Al Arish. And in the way going back between Al Arish, I'm not sure if I can open this or not, trying to connect, sorry for that. Oh, I need internet, I guess, okay. Do you have an internet, or I can connect to my mosque staff or guest or guest? Okay. What's the pass? Can someone help me with the password or? So until we get the password. So to go, from Al Arish to Rafah, back and forth, you see thousands of trucks, not hundreds, wallahi, thousands of trucks. And I said, what are they doing? They said they're waiting for weeks now. Okay. This one, the password? Okay. Actually, you know what? Let me see. The guest? Okay. The Muhammad? Okay. Jazakallah khairan. Yeah. I want to show you the videos if we can connect to the videos. Anyway, so yeah, it's loading, I guess. So this is thousands of trucks waiting to enter, and some of them they've been for weeks there. They have food, they have medical aid, they have everything. But subhanallah, look at the bureaucracy. So there are a lot of supplies, a lot of aid, but they won't let them in. And I asked them when I passed to Gaza, they said they allow 60 or 70 a day. It depends on the soldiers. So even they say it's Rafah, they don't say this in the media, but they have to go to Karam Abu Salam, to the other side, and they have to clear it, and they decide we're going to enter 60 or 70. Subhanallah. Even this is like a border between two Arab countries, should be like that, but they still control that. And all these trucks have been waiting for weeks and weeks to get into Rafah, subhanallah. While people are, we are hearing they are dying because of starvation now, and all the supplies and food are being stuck in the before Rafah or Al Arish. So alhamdulillah, we made it next day. We pushed again from Al Arish to Rafah, and finally it took us like 2.5 days to get there, and they allowed us to get. They screened we had orthopedic, all kind of supplies with us, and we were able to get it in eventually to Gaza. And you feel, subhanallah, once you get in, wallahi, you feel so honored and so happy to get into, because this is Palestine. You are now in Gaza, the best, probably land or on earth, in my own opinion, after I met with the heroes and the great people that never met similar people in my life. So they took us immediately in the streets, and you see thousands of people taking plastic tents, and these are people from north, from Gaza City, from everywhere, from all the provinces, and they're living now just beside the border. As you can see here, all over, close to the border. You do not understand the suffering, and the misery these people are living until you pass by a bunch of children in any kind of, this is in Khan Yunis now, in any kind of area, region, when you see the people, when we are a convoy, right? We're multiple, cars and bus moving doctors and nurses. Anytime they see buses or trucks, they jump on you. And initially I said, why are they jumping on us? It's dangerous. They want food. These children are hungry. This is even like a few weeks ago now. So they jump on you trying to figure out maybe you have some food or water or something for them. SubhanAllah, I never seen this in my life, even in the Syrian war. The people absolutely, they drive them from any kind of food and water intentionally. So they can really suffer, maximize the suffering on these people. So you see them like they are jumping everywhere and trying to figure out if they can jump on the trucks or jump on the buses to get, when they see any cars, any trucks approaching this is our car and approaching. So they run and try to hang to any truck or any bus in order to be able to get maybe some aid, some food and something like that. So we made it to Nasser, alhamdulillah. This is Nasser Hospital, which unfortunately, as you probably heard, it was invaded, and they knew it's going to happen again, because the Israeli people, they drop these things, right? And they tell you, we have told you, we're going to hit you now. But what about if you have elderly? What about if you have, women, you have children, you have wounded in this house? So where are they going to go? They say, okay, tomorrow we're going to hit you, right? A little bit probably better than the Syrian regime, subhanAllah, because they hit you without telling you. But where the people are going to go, subhanAllah. So they give you like 12 hours or 24 hours. So they were dropping these kind of leaflets on us. And they say in this murabba, they call it murabba, like square, this square, this square, it has to be empty tomorrow. What's going to be empty? Where are you going to go? Subhanallah. So this is happening every day to the point that around Nasser, it became almost empty, right? But in the hospital, in the vicinity of the hospital, you think you're going to go there and find the people on beds, in ICU, like what we do in Canada. But the people there are no beds. So because we had in Nasser Hospital 500 wounded, like Ottawa Hospital Civic, if you have, Dr. Adel, he knows, like if we have 5 gunshots, the hospital will be up and down, we can't really manage it. But how do you have 500, subhanAllah, wounded, and you have to take care of them? So they are in the vicinity of the hospital. There's 25,000, they were in Nasser Hospital at the time when I was there, 25,000 patients. So everywhere, with their families, of course, but you can see them everywhere. They put tents in the backyard, in the front yard, in the entrance. I found a family, in the elevator, subhanAllah. Can you believe that? They just put some stuff in the elevator. When you go upstairs, and you have to turn and then go again, take the stairs. In that kind of couple meters, there are 2 families sitting. Subhanallah. This is how the family now, these are people from Gaza, they had houses, they have their trades, they have everything. Subhanallah. So this is how the vicinity of the hospital is now. The people are taking, and they think it's safer. It's not safer because they hit the hospital, they invaded the hospital, but they feel a little bit safer to be close to the hospitals, to be close to the physicians and nurses. So they take refuge beside the hospitals. And then, so the minute, you go there, you start receiving the cases and see the bombardment. This is from our room in the Nasser Hospital, and you see the bombardment, and they don't stop. But it gets worse at night. And I asked the doctors there, I said, why does it get worse at night? At night, you can't sleep the first couple nights, but then we got used to it. Every 2 minutes, I swear, every 3 minutes, there's like a big, bombardment, airstrikes. And they said to us, because at night, the ambulances, they cannot move. Every moving car is a target, so they can maximize the casualties, and so the children and women, they can stay under the rubbles, and they cannot get them. So indeed, we figured out that because next day in the morning, 7 in the morning, we get all of a sudden a lot of injuries. What happened? And we were hearing the bombardment throughout the night, but nothing came at night because the ambulances cannot reach. So look at that, kind of ugly kind of occupation. Not only hitting civilians. I'm happy yesterday Biden for the first time is saying, they're hitting women and children, and most of them are not Hamas. Oh, alhamdulillah, he figured out, the president of the greatest country in the world, he figured out this after 150 days. Most of them not Hamas, women and children. That's what he said yesterday. But they're hitting them, not only, so not allowing the doctors and the ambulances to reach them. So when you come 7 in the morning next day, you will find a lot of these, subhanallah, a lot of these children coming to you. I'm not using even any graphic things. Wallahi, I've seen so graphic, livers coming out, bowels coming out of the body. But this is what you, so all of a sudden we see like out of 30 patients come 15 children. And an ideal situation, you know, Dr. Adel, he knows as a surgeon, you know, if you have enough team with you, even if you have 3, 4, 5 injuries, you can deal with them. But when you have 30 injuries and you're only 2 surgeons and 2 or 3 nurses, what you gonna do? You know what you're gonna do? Wallahi, the most difficult decision for a human being or for a doctor and surgeon, you will decide who's gonna live and who's gonna die. I still have nightmares. Sometimes I can't sleep. Wallahi, my wife, she knows me. I cannot sleep sometimes because I have these kind of memories flashing in my head. Why did I do this, or who should have gone first on this? Because you have to make a quick decision and you have to decide, and you have the moms beside you and telling you, please take care of my child. Or the uncle, maybe the mom has gone, right? But then you have to make a quick decision. And if you have enough staff and resources and they did not keep them under rubbles for 8 hours, you know, you could have probably dealt with the common sense says you have to deal with a severe injury, right? First, like that's what we do in Ottawa Hospital. When we trained, I was drama team leader in the civic hospital. You deal with the most severe injury, and then the medium and the mild, you leave them, right? Because they can wait. But these people are suffering because they have been under rubble bleeding for 7 or 8 hours. Now, the medium became severe. And if you're gonna start with the severe with limited resources, what's gonna happen? The medium will become severe in a couple hours. So you have to start, this is what I trained with ICRC in the Syrian war. You have to start with the medium injuries. And then what's gonna happen to the severe? The 4 children that I have no pulse and they are very weak and I know that they're not gonna make it and they need a lot of work. Otherwise, I will lose everyone else in the room. I have to let them die. Can you believe this? Wallahi, I made this decision with these heroic doctors and nurses in Gaza many times. This is the worst thing that you can imagine you can be put in, and this is because of the ugly kind of occupation, how they treat the people. Not only they hit the children, they don't allow you to reach them at night, so when they come in the morning, they will be bleeding to death to the point that the medium injury becomes severe, and then you cannot save many lives. And that's why you hear in the news every day that you have 100 children dying every day. Why? Because these 100 children, they were under the rubbles, and you could not reach them, and they come to you quite late to the point that you cannot do anything for them because you want to start with the medium and mild injuries. And this is what we do day and night, you know, all kind of shrapnel, you remove them, because when bombardment happens with all these mass destruction weapons, then you're going to have shrapnel throughout the abdomen. Sometimes you spend hours with one case, you know, you need a neurosurgeon, orthopedic surgeon, general surgeon for one body. So doesn't mean one body, you need one surgeon. Sometimes you need 3 or 4 surgeons working on one body to save one life, subhanAllah, while they are hitting these kind of children every day without any rahmah or mercy. This is our team, you know, when we are tired at night, we go to sleep for 6 hours or so, and then you wake up again and you join the hero doctors of Gaza to try to help them. And I'm sorry I'm talking about lots of misery, but I'll tell you some good stories at the end, inshallah, because there's always, inshallah, good stories, and always we have hope. But, you know, another, you know, difficult scenario is when you do surgeries here, you obtain a consent, you meet with the families, you meet with the parents. But imagine over there, I never got any consent from any parents. Actually, I met 1 or 2 parents in the whole trip. Why? Because most of the parents are gone or they are injured and they don't know where their children are. So that Muhammad, I still remember his name, Muhammad al-Ghuffa, this fellow, he's 10 years old. I did his surgery. His bowel was sitting out, right? Out, his intestine out. So immediately I took him in the morning. I had even no other surgeon to help me. I did it with a nurse. And I finished the surgery. It took me 3 hours, 40 40 injuries in his bowel. He knows Brother Adil in the large bowel, in the small bowel, in the liver. Alhamdulillah, he was okay, and we took him to the ICU, and I said, oh my goodness, I never met his parents. Where's his parents? His parents are gone. And then now who's going to take care of him? The uncle, he came to me. Look at this, is another misery, you know, on top of the surgery, on top of this kid, you know, is injured. And then you have to deal now with the trauma of, you know, conveying the news, or he has the uncle to convey the news to you as well that his parents are not alive anymore. And then this fellow is going to wake up without the children. Subhanallah, what kind of misery they're living. But subhanallah, يعني كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم أكثر الناس سبحان الله ابتلاءهم هم الأنبياء. هذا حديث يعني عن سعد بن أبي وقاص. أكثر الناس ابتلاء هم الأنبياء. وبعدهم قالوا العلماء هم الأكثر سبحانا إيمانا. يعني then the people that are more you know, they have more belief and stronger belief, they will be more, this is in the Sunnah, they will be more tested. And the Surah Al-Ankabut, subhanallah, Allah Azza wa Jal, He said after Alif Lam Mim, أحسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون. The people, the believers, are they going to just, is it easy to say I'm a believer? Wallahi, I learned from Gaza, it's not easy to say I'm a believer. And I feel, you're telling me I'm hero, I feel I'm very small, wallahi, in comparison to the doctors and nurses of Gaza, wallahi. And I feel guilty to leave them behind, wallahi. Because the truth is that you will be tested. This is for the children, everyone here, you know, you will be tested. This is not easy. In order to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you al-Jannah and give you all the rewards and this, you will be tested. And it's not simply, I am mu'min, you know, and, you know, I'm going to come and pray and 5 prayers and that's it. If you don't pass the test, you're not a true believer. And these people are passing, wallahi, very difficult test. It's so easy. But I told the people, you know, I came back to Canada, it's a test for us, wallahi, as well. Because if you think, you know, it's only test for them, you're wrong. The test is for us. For them, they're passing it. It's very hard. And I believe because they have the highest level of Iman. As I said, you know, Rasulullah, he said, أكثر الناس, you know, ابتلاءهم الأنبياء وبعدهم أكثر إيمانا. These people are top believers, so are they tested hardly by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we are, subhanAllah, I consider myself at least a no less believer, but that's why my test is not easy, because I have a car, I have a nice score, and you know, I can go outside and can feed my kids and no problem. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala using small tests for me in life. You know, something happens every day, of course, for every one of us, but it's all small. Wallah, it's all small, because our belief is small. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala treating us nicely. But for these people, wallahi, they have amazing iman. And they are really tested differently than any one of us. So don't think, you know, it's a test for them. Allah, it's a test for us, how we're going to be helping and how we're going to be doing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to keep our bounties, inshallah, of us. This is Ahmed, subhanallah. And many times, you know, I go to the emergency department, there's no general surgery cases for me. So I just wander in the hospital and you find like children with, you know, open wound here and open wound there. And you don't have analgesia for these children. So we keep the analgesia for the OR, right? So I was suturing him, Adil, without painkiller. Wallahi, he was telling me, Ammo, shwaya, shwaya. Look at this, no crying, not screaming at me. Can you put a stitch on any one of our children without, he's gonna cry, and the neighbor and the second, third neighbor will hear you, right? Look at the hospital, how not even children, 40 and 50 years old, they cry and this and that. But he's telling me, Amma shwaya shwaya bas. This is all. So I started even engaging him, and I said, can you recite some Quran? And subhanAllah, he recited Surah Al-Waqi'ah. This is from Nasser Hospital, and this is he's in lots of pain. He has an open wound and fascia and muscle involved. Subhanallah. So he's reciting now, and so they all of them, subhanallah, they have this tranquility, this tuma'nina, this iman, wallahi al-azim. So you feel a lot of hope, because the way they are bringing their children is different, right? They go outside to the hospitals, they help their moms, their dads, to get water. They line up. They became, I said, children of Gaza, they became men, real men, before they grew up. They are really men, right? And you can look at them, the way, and they tell you about the history, they tell you about Israel, they tell you it's our land, we're not going to leave Gaza, subhanallah. what kind of patience and tranquility they have, these people. Subhanallah. I'm so impressed with these children of Gaza. So there is a lot of hope. And the other thing, these are doctors of Gaza are really the heroes. This is Dr. Ahmed Mukhallalati, for instance. Probably you've seen him in Al Jazeera. He's in Shifa Hospital. I met him. But after they bombarded the Shifa Hospital, he told us the story. I said, Ahmed, please tell me, you were there. Tell me what happened. So because he speaks English, he has dual citizenship. He has dual citizenship. He has Irish and Palestinian. But he said, I'm staying here. He could have us. So he sent his family for safety. And he said, I'm going to stay here. Now, 150 days he's staying. I see him, wallahi, every day, 8 in the morning. He gets up. He's always smiling. He's always joking. He's always happy. We're afraid, wallahi. We're chicken. We're afraid. And, yes, we went there. But, it's tense, bombardment and this and that. You can lose your wife. They made us sign a waiver, the WHO, that if you lose your life, anything, injuries, you're not going to sue us. I said, okay, of course, we're going to Gaza. We're not going to sue you. Let us go in. But this guy is always, happy in this. And so he told us a story, I wish I have time, in 1 hour, video I took for him, the story of Shifa. When the Israeli people, they came, some of them, they speak Arabic, some of them from Durzi, from Jawlan, and this from the Israelis. So not all of them Jew, by the way, some of them from Durzi and different people. And they said, in Arabic, talking to him, you have to do this, you have to do that, and you tell us where the anfaq are, where the tunnels, where the people are hiding. And he said, you are hitting us from the air, you're hitting us from the land, you're hitting us from, he's very strong, and he was like sitting like this, from the sea. And you are inside the hospital now. You're not allowing us to do our job, our duty, right? We took the oath to help the people, and now people are dying in the Shifa. And you remember there was neonates dying on the Jazeera. And this is when it happens for 7 days and you're asking me where the tunnels, go and find the tunnels. It's in the basement, go find it if you find it. You have control over everything, right? And they said, you're not afraid of us? I said, I'm not afraid from anyone. I'm just afraid from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I asked him, I said, Ahmed, why you're not really taking some time off or going to Ireland? He said, yeah, Anas, this is, like tawalli yawm al-zahaf. Subhanallah. He said, I'm not going to leave my country and my people, when it is being hit badly like this by the Israeli people. So I said, Subhanallah. And he's smiling and joking and so happy, guy. I said, Subhanallah. May Allah give us the same kind of iman and tuma'nina that these people, they have in Gaza. And some rewarding stories, don't think that all the time. Alhamdulillah, there are miracles. There are some stories that probably you can't understand. This is Sufyan, 8 years old. And the guy, subhanallah, he moved with his family from Gaza to Deir al-Balah, and they told them Khan Yunis is safe. They went to Khan Yunis. This is safe, and then they hit Khan Yunis. And then this is the 4th move. That's his mom and dad telling me, the Sufyan. And then they came to the European hospital. This is before we left, and he has a shrapnel in the right upper chest here, like almost level 1 in the neck. And so we looked at with echo at the heart. There's lots of blood around the heart, right? So we did a CAT scan, and you don't have to be a physician. You can see the shrapnel right here. It's in the heart, right? So I called immediately one of the big surgeons in UK that he trained me in Syria, Dr. David Knott, and I said, David, what do you think about this? He called the radiologist, top radiologist in UK. He said, it's in the left atrium. We sent him the CAT scan and the ultrasound. He said, you have to go in and take it out. So subhanallah, it went from here, the shrapnel, from the right side to the left heart, and it sat in the atrium. Allahu Akbar. And he's still alive, and there's a lot of blood around the heart. So we had Dr. Amjad al-Sharif, mashallah, and he opened his heart, right, immediately, and opened the pericardium, evacuated the blood, and we found the shrapnel, subhanallah. We took the shrapnel, and he's still awake. La ilaha illallah. A lot of rewarding stories, wallahi. وَمَنْ أَحْيَا كَأَنَّمَا أَحْيَا النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا. It's so rewarding to, بإذن الله عز وجل, to help one child. So when we finish this surgery, this is the Dr. Sharif is doing, we're helping him with the surgery in the left atrium, right? And they're skillful, by the way. The doctors are very skillful, mashallah, but they need the supplies. They need the medical supplies. They need the right equipment. They are depriving them from these equipment and supplies and the drugs intentionally so they can suffer. But they have, mashallah, the education and the best 2 universities in Gaza that they, despite the occupation, they were able to go through it, right? So after we finished, the surgery with Sufyan, his family came to us and they gave us juice, subhanAllah. I never saw juice in Gaza because you only have water. If you're lucky, this is so it became to me, after I came from Gaza, I said, don't waste it. My children now, I became very tough on them. If they leave anything, I said, you have to drink it or keep it in the fridge or this, because we throw it, and right? For over there, because we are coming from outside, from Canada and US, they're treating us differently. The regular people, they don't have access to water. I show you, they come to the hospital from tap water. They stood for hours in order to get a little bit of water, right? But for us, they were giving us, even us, one a day, because they don't have enough. They're treating us nicely. So even for us, it became so, important, so a treasure for me, this piece of water, because, you have to live on it. This is what they give us a day, right? So all of a sudden they brought us juice, and I said, subhanallah, I'm sure they paid a lot of money. It's so expensive. You can get stuff, but hundreds of dollars to get, like if you want fruits, for instance, there's nothing there, right? So because their kids, subhanallah, is saved. La ilaha illallah. And subhanallah, more rewarding story. This is Maryam Najjar. And this Maryam, subhanallah, her grandfather, he's the one who is the founder of Nasser Hospital when I was there, dead in an attack. Her mom, dead in an attack. Stories you cannot believe, The dad, he came with me, and he's fine, and he's just, please save my daughter. And I said, what happened? He's a doctor in the hospital. I know him. He's a GI. And he's just walking with limb, and he had injury in his leg. He said, they bombarded our house in Khan Yunis. What about your dad? Alhamdulillah, istashhad. What about your mom? Alhamdulillah, istashhad. Allahu Akbar. He's still, like, he's walking and talking with me. Like, if this happens to me, I won't be able to talk to anyone. And he said, what about your son? Alhamdulillah, istashhad. I have only Maryam, please save her. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. I couldn't take it. I was crying. And the guy said, doctor, please do your job. Just do your job. Wallahi, they give you the energy. Just do your job. You're here to help. Khalas, do your job. Well, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Just save Maryam. Allahu Akbar. So, subhanallah, we found this fracture. You see that fracture here? It's very obvious. And it was missed from the day before. And we had a neurosurgeon. And next day, she is, Maryam, she's able to move all extremities. Subhanallah. After we did the neurosurgery on her. And he's so happy that he had his daughter left for him. And he's always thanking Allah, saying, alhamdulillah. Wallahi, every time I meet someone, like, my dad is gone, alhamdulillah. My sister is gone, alhamdulillah, but I still have my brother. La ilaha illallah. What kind of iman is this? Like, you will probably be crying and disappearing and shouting if this happened to you, right? But subhanallah, this kind of iman. And that's why I keep saying, they really is passing the test. What about us? Be sure that we're going to do our best, in terms of helping these people. And the last thing I want to talk about, the project we're going to be doing there as surgeons, alhamdulillah. We found a lot of wounded patients needing vacuum assisting device, the vac that we use in the hospital. In negative pressure, it helps the wounds. They don't have this. So what do? They put some sponge and then upside on it, and then hook it to the suction. The problem, if these, there are thousands of wounded people, if they're going to go to the tents, there's no suction, and you don't know what kind of pressure you're getting. You need a very specific pressure, like -100 mercury, in order to be able to be effective. So alhamdulillah, there is a brother, I'll end my talk with, there's a brother, a Palestinian, and subhanallah, sincerity, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will keep it forever. He is very sincere. He came to me at the beginning of the Syrian war, Hisham al-Sha'ar from Oakville. He said, Anas, I'm an engineer, biomedical engineer. I need to help. I said, subhanallah, how is he going to be helping me? I'm going surgical and this. He said, Anas, he keeps calling me. I said, come to my house. We'll figure out something. This is like 10 years ago, Allah's story. And then he came to my basement and I said to him, you know what? I need the vacuum assisting device. You're a medical engineer. We don't have battery. We don't have electricity. The people going to the tents. Can you figure out something that it keep the pressure -100 and easy for the patient to use? So he said, let me think about it. He brought engineers to my basement. He did this and that, and it took him a couple years, right? And then he became, he came up with very innovative device that you just push it, right? You just push it down and it will give you like, this is the device, and it give you like green line, and that means 100. And if there is leak or something, it will show you a red line, then the patient will push it again. He came with this innovation. He's not even a doctor. But just have, my brothers and sisters, and especially new generation, just have the right intention and being sincere. Wallahi, Allah will yaftah alaykum abwal al-khair. He'll open the doors for you. So I couldn't believe in this war. He's Palestinian, so I remembered him because he helped a lot in Syria war, and he had a factory now for manual device, and it cost him $100, and the KCI one, it's a $3,000. Subhanallah. So I called him, I said, I'm in Gaza, can you provide us with this? You did a favor to our people in Syria, and now I'm in Gaza. He said, what? And he's from Gaza. He's a biomedical engineer. So he, alhamdulillah, he shipped, this is the hospital we are setting up in Rafah for the wounded people. And he was able to ship 1,000 devices. Subhanallah. This is just a little bit more than 100,000. We're raising funds for that. Inshallah, with other drugs and medications. 1,000 devices, he shipped it to Jordan, and alhamdulillah, we're gonna get it from Jordan to Gaza to help the people of Gaza. I just want to end by saying, there's a lot of miseries, right, in the stories, and I didn't tell you about everything, of course, respecting your time, but wallahi, there's heroism that I never seen in my life. Right, from the children, I learned, from the moms, I learned, from the youth, from the elderly. Alhamdulillah is always on their tongue, right? With pain, without pain, living now in the tent for 300. Subhanallah, rarely you can meet anyone who's not happy. And we went to the Fajr. Wallahi, this is before we left. To mosque. And you know what? We heard the azan, so I said, let's walk, right? We were afraid in the first few days, right? Bombardment very hard at night. So he said, let's walk. And the Zanana, this is what the drone on top of you, you feel that they're going to hit you at any time. They're just watching you. They have a lot of, equipment and this and American. So they're watching us 24 hours, everyone moving, everyone taking pictures, very high end. So we were afraid, but then they said, come on, people are going, it seems, to the mosque. Let's go to the mosque, right? Even if it's dangerous, this and that. Wallahi, we went to the mosque. By the adhan, wallahi, it's packed. Packed. We could not pray in the mosque. This is not Jum'ah. This is Fajr. Yawm al-Jum'ah Fajr. The guy, he said, well, guys, you're late. The people come before the adhan. I said, subhanallah. In Canada, if you go, after 15, 20 minutes, you're still fine. So we had to pray a second prayer with these, and a lot of them are children. So these people, subhanallah, they brought up their children, the new generation, differently. And that's why I really have a lot of hope, because of the resilience of these people and because of the patience and the iman they have. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to open our heart to help them, and helping them, yes, financially it's needed. I think we do have, I'm not sure if we have volunteers, if someone wants to donate to our work. I'm going to go back, inshallah, by the end of this month, inshallah, with another surgeon. And these supplies, inshallah, will be there so we can train them on it. And we can, inshallah, elevate the suffering of these children and women and our heroic people in Gaza. And then not only financially as well, if people, you know how to write. Really, the people of Gaza told me, do not leave us alone. If you can advocate, if you can do this for that, go to the media. I became really more, believer in advocacy. And my MP, since I came to Gaza, I bombarded her with lots of emails, and finally she responded to me. And now she's doing some more work with the Prime Minister office. You can change things. It can take time. It can take lots of efforts. But believe me, I tell you, this is a small test for us, easy test. You have everything surrounding you. You have luxury life. You have water. You have heat. You can turn the water you want when you take a shower. Let's use this luxury life. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala don't put us in what He put them in, because maybe we cannot tolerate it. Let's do our best, anyway, in terms of advocacy, writing, facts, send to your MPs, if someone good in the family, some letters, educate them about the facts. This is war on the children of Gaza. This is not war on any certain party or this and that. and Canada has to condemn that, and the MPs has to condemn them. Anyone who has a little bit of, a point and drop of humanity should condemn what they're doing with the children of Gaza. Jazakum Allah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And I think Dr. Adil, he told me that, mashallah, his daughter is doing an amazing job, Sarah, with the sisters over there. Mashallah. Sorry, I don't know all their names, so they're all doing a great job, and they're selling a lot of great stuff for Gaza, and everything is going to Gaza as well. So if you have time to purchase anything, inshallah, in the back, or if you want to donate, I think there are machines in the back as well. Inshallah, may Allah accept and reward all of you for listening. Assalamu alaikum.